Welcome back to this Forest Navi course, listening part 1.2. In this part we will look at some small talk and how to introduce yourself. Last time we learned some simple words, this time we will learn some whole sentences. So other than last time where I asked you to look up the words I'm saying in dictionary to see if you can hear correctly what I'm saying, this time with whole phrases, whole sentences, this will probably be a bit difficult. So you don't need to do that. You can still try to find single words, but if not, that's no problem at all. This part is more about getting used to hearing the Navi language and at the same time also learning some useful phrases. Same warning as always, my Navi pronunciation is not perfect, specifically my trilled R is the wrong one as I'm using the German R rolled in the back of my mouth, while it's supposed to be the Spanish R rolled in the front of the mouth. And as always, of course, in general my pronunciation is not perfect, so please first learn about proper pronunciation before you do listening practice with me here. But let's immediately start. Last time we already learned how to say hello, and this time I want to go over one more phrase with which you can greet someone. It's probably the most famous sentence in the entire fandom. I will, as last time, again say every sentence 4 times before I reveal it. You can of course go back and listen to it even more if you want. Welngati ka meya. Welngati ka meya. Welngati ka meya. Welngati ka meya. This is what I said. Welngati ka meya. I see you. There are 2 noteworthy things about pronunciation in here. First, you will notice that the OL does not have an underline, so no stress, because we actually pronounce it as 1 syllable. Oe means I, and as soon as you put anything behind it, in this case a case ending, the L, it becomes like a we. We pronounce it as we. So oe plus L is well, 1 syllable. The second one is the ka-meya, which if you look at it in detail actually has 4 syllables. Ka-me-ye. But in most cases we just pronounce the A in fix as A as 1 syllable. So it's normal to say Welngati ka-meya. I see you. There's also a short version. Let's listen to it. Kame ngat. Kame ngat. Kame ngat. Kame ngat. This is what I said. Kame ngat. I see you. It's just a shorter version of the sentence we had before. Now, of course, we just landed on Pandora, we have greeted each other, now we want to get to know them, or we want to start a conversation. At the beginning, of course, some small talk, so we can ask them, Ngaru lufboomsraak? Ngaru lufboomsraak? Ngaru lufboomsraak? Ngaru lufboomsraak? This is what I said. Ngaru lufboomsraak? How are you? You probably recognize the boom if you watched the video before. There we had on lifboom and dr lifboom. So the lifboom and this boom here look similar and they're actually related. This is used to say how are you, but literally it actually means do you have well-being? So what you notice here, it is a yes-no question. We don't answer with good or not good, we answer with yes or no. Because do you have well-being? Yes, I have, or no, I don't have. Let's look at the answer. So let's look what someone might answer to this. Srane weru lufboom. Srane weru lufboom. Srane, weru lufboom. Srane, weru lufboom. Here's what I said. Srane, weru lufboom. And that's exactly what I said before, so yes, I am well. We answer with yes because it's a yes or no question. Of course, not always everyone is well, so you might also get the answer kehe, weru ke lufboom. Kehe, weru ke lufboom. Kehe, weru ke lufboom. Kehe, weru ke lufboom. Here is what I said. Kehe, weru ke lufboom. No, I'm not well, or literally, no, I don't have well-being. By the way, you can also, of course, just say only srane or kehe. You don't need to say a full sentence, just yes or no is also enough to answer. And sometimes it's just not good or not bad, and then we can say tam ke tam. Tam ke tam. Tam ke tam. Tam ke tam. Here's what I said. Tam ke tam. So, meh. Not good, not bad. Literally it means okay, not okay. Tam is a verb which means to be sufficient, but it can also be interjection meaning just okay. So yeah, tam ke tam. Okay, not okay. Not good, not bad. If the conversation is going well, then maybe your conversation partner then asks you back. Ngaru tut? Ngaru tut? Ngaru tut? Ngaru tut? Here is what I said. Ngaru tut? How about you? So the tut just throws back the question. Notice how we asked ngaru lufboomsrak. So we used ngaru here. Nga, you, with a ru ending. What that is you will learn at some point. So if we now want to throw back the questions, then we say ngaru tut. We also use the nga with the ru ending here. There are of course also other ways to ask how someone is. I show you one more. Listen to it. Magdo fjape. Magdo fjape. Magdo fjape. Magdo fjape. Here is what I said. Magdo fjape. How are you doing? Literally this means how's the riding? And this question is more general. So the one we had before, ngaru lufboomsrak, asked about your well-being. Magdo fjape is more general. So how are you generally doing? So your general situation right now. The answer to this usually is just one word and it's just an adverb. I'll give you a few examples of what you can answer to it. First one is zong. 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 Let's look at what I said. Zong. Well, I'm doing well. If you look up this word in the dictionary, you will actually notice that it is a verb. But this one, in this context, is just short for nizaunong. Nizaunong. Which means safely. You are riding safely, so you are doing well. Another way to say that you are doing well, or to answer in this context that you are doing well, is nilzan. 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 Here is what I said. Nilzan. And means well, I'm doing well. Let's look at one last positive version. Nixman. Nixman. Nix man. Nix man. This is what I said. Nix man. And it means wonderfully. Now again, it might be that you are not doing well, but also not doing badly, so just so, and then you could answer, this one sounds very similar to the one before, nix ran. Nix ran. Nix ran. Nix ran. Here is what I said, nix ran. And again, it means so, not good, not bad. Now again, it might be that you're not doing very well. And then there are two other things you could say. The first one is ne fait. Ne fait. Ne fait. Ne fait. Let's look at that one. Ne fait. Badly. So you're doing badly. And the last answer to this would be ne amo. Ne amo. Ne amo. Ne amo. This is what I said. Ne amo. And that means horribly or terribly. Again, maybe the conversation is going well and you want to ask it back, or your conversation partner wants to ask you back. And then you would say, in this case, ngari tut. Note that something changed. The last time we said something else when you want to reflect the question back. So try to listen and see what changed. I'll read it 3 more times. Ngari tut. Ngari tut. Ngari tut. Here is what I said. Ngari tut. How about you? As I said before, when we throw back a question with tut, then we need to match the case ending. If you're doing this course in order and you haven't learned about case endings yet, don't worry about it for now. Just remember that in this context, we need to use the ngari instead of the ngaru when we're throwing back the question. So now the conversation is maybe not going so well. You see in the corner the family is looking at you not that happily, so you're not doing well, date not going well. So you want to know more about the person you're talking to save the conversation. Then you could ask them, Rut e lepi vauk ne id. 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 This is what I said. Rut e lepi vauk ne id. You probably already know the rut e from the last video, so please. Lepi vauk means to talk about oneself. Ne id a bit. So please talk a little bit about yourself. You can of course also ask a specific question. The first question when you get to know someone, of course, would be Fiape fgo siau ngar. Fiape fgo siau ngar. Fiape fgo siau ngar. Fiape fgo siau ngar. Let's look at it. Fiape fgo siau ngar. What is your name? Literally, this actually means how does one call you? So fiape, how, fgo, one, siau, call, ngar, to you. How does one call to you? Then you will get an answer, and in this case, if Neytiri would answer, she would probably tell you Weru fgo siau Neytiri. Weru fgo siau Neytiri. Weru fgo siau Neytiri. Weru fgo siau Neytiri. Here is what I said. Weru fko siau Neytiri. My name is Neytiri, or again, literally, one does call to me Neytiri. You can actually also leave out the fko, so you could say Weru siau Neytiri. Next, let's ask another question about someone else. You can also ask Ngari solaleo polpaya zisit. Ngari solaleo polpaya zisit. Ngari solaleo polpaya zisit. Ngari solaleo polpaya zisit. This is what I said. Ngari solaleo polpaya zisit. And this means, how old are you? Literally, as for you, Ngari, solaleo have proceeded, polpaya zisit. How many years? So as for you, how many years have proceeded? Of course, if that was a date, that's the moment where you then fucked up because you don't ask a woman for their age. But what could Neytiri say as an answer here? She would probably say something like Weri solaleo zisit amevo moon. 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 This is what I said. Weri solaleo zisit amevo moon. I'm 18 years old. She might even ask a question back. She could, for example, ask you, Nga za'u ftu peseng. Nga za'u ftu peseng. Nga za'u ftu peseng. Nga za'u ftu peseng. This is what I said. Nga za'u ftu peseng. Where are you from? Of course, on Pandora, the answer would probably be something like, oh yeah, I'm from the forest, or I'm from this tribe, or from this village. But you would be happy to hear that there are also some loan words for earth places. For example, you could say something like, Oe za'u ftu USA. Oe za'u ftu USA. Oe za'u ftu USA. Oe za'u ftu USA. This is what I said. Oe za'u ftu USA. I am from the US. So you see here, USA here was taken into Natvi as USA. We just write it down how the Natvi would say it. Then of course next you might also want to talk about your hobbies. I just have some random examples here. For example, you could say something like Weru sunu fwa slele. Weru sunu fwa slele. Weru sunu fwa slele. Weru sunu fwa slele. Here's what I said. Weru sunu fwa slele. I like swimming. Literally, by the way, this means something like swimming is pleasing to me. Let's try it out with a random other verb. So instead of swimming, let's say something else. Weru sunu fwa hahau. Weru sunu fwa hahau. Weru sunu fwa hahau. Weru sunu fwa hahau. So you could probably already see from the picture what verb I'm meaning here, so what I'm trying to say. This is what I said. Weru sunu wahahau. I like sleeping, or I like to sleep. Notice that we have this weird fwa there. So if we want to say that we like to do a verb, an action, we have to say fwa ha hao, this thing which is to sleep. This is just a grammar thing, you will learn about it in a while. But let's look next at something that is not an action. So what if we don't like an action but a thing, a noun? Let's look at it. Weru sunu aioang. Weru sunu aioang. Weru sunu aioang. Weru sunu aioang. This is what I said. Weru sunu aioang. I like animals, or again literally, animals are pleasing to me. Note that here we don't have a fwa. So if the thing we like is a noun, then we can just say weru sunu and then the thing, in this case aioang, the animals. But when we have an action there, so for example I like to swim, then we have to insert the fwa there. Again, you will learn about the grammar reasons later, but for now you know that when you want to say that you like something, you sometimes have to use the fwa, but with normal nouns like animals, in this case, you don't have to. And this was it for this video. Luce baum ngarusrak? Nejei baum. Do you have questions? Just ask. As always, you can ask them in the comments, or you can reach me on Discord as Tekre. You can write me an email. And if you want to continue, then you can immediately go to the next chapter of this listening practice, namely introductions. In that video, I asked some other community members to introduce themselves using the sentences that you heard in this video, but also some more, so you can practice if you can understand something. Or if you want to look at the full NATVI course again, there you can find a link to the entire playlist. Hai, jadovai ma frapo.